No more!
Today, we march, we fight, we roar.
It is time for the nation to realize gun violence is more than just a Chicago problem or a Parkland problem, but it's an American problem.
We cannot keep America great if we cannot keep America safe.
Then stand up, speak up, register to vote.
We stand in the shadow of the Capitol, and we know that we have 7 short years until we too have the right to vote.
Dr. King once said, darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that.
I never got to say goodbye. I could barely see out my eyes because I was crying tears and blood at the same time.
If they continue to ignore us, to only pretend to listen, then we will take action where it counts.
This is not cutting it.
As if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. And I stand for peace.
Fight for your lives before it's someone else's job.
All across the nation. We are going to be a great generation.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Deborah Alfarone. It was a historic day in Washington. Young people pushing for change and telling their stories. They came from all over the country, near and far, and right here at home, speaking their truth and sharing their reality about gun violence, some as young as 11 years old. Our Michael Quandra is here now to show us some of the most powerful messages heard today. Michael?
Yeah, Deborah, those students who spoke today were fiery, they were motivated, and incredibly emotional. And strangely enough, one of the most moving speeches was one with little words.
Elena Petty would never.
She read the names
Chris Hickson would never.
of all the people killed in Parkland, Florida,
Aguiano would never.
1 month and 10 days ago.
Al-Hadaf would never. Jamie
She
Guttenberg
said the names and stopped.
would never.
Emma Gonzalez paused for 6 minutes and 20 seconds, the same amount of time a gunman shot up her school. She cried for the 17 people killed, 15 hurt, and all of the lives changed forever.
Fight for your lives before it's someone else's job.
Everyday shootings are everyday problems.
Students from all over the country
And I couldn't move, I couldn't breathe.
talked about their crippling experiences with gun violence.
He pulls out this silver pistol and points it in my face.
But one of the most powerful speeches came from the voice of an 11-year-old.
I am here today to acknowledge and represent the African American girls whose stories don't make the front page of every national newspaper. Whose stories don't lead on the evening news.
Naomi Waller said for far too long, murdered black women have only been a statistic, something she says needs to change.
I'm here to say never again for those girls too.
And just days away from the 50th anniversary of her grandfather's assassination,
I have a dream that enough is enough.
Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s 9-year-old granddaughter called for change.
This should be a gun-free world, period. If there's a book that you want to read but it hasn't been written yet, you must be the one to write it.
Yeah, just powerful. And that last one was a quote from African-American author Toni Morrison. And you know, these students say their fight is far from over now. They have 3 goals here. They want to ban assault-style rifles or weapons like AR-15s, stop the sale of high-capacity magazines, and make background checks tougher. Michael Quandra, WUSA9.
Thank you so much, Michael. And organizers have a petition that you can sign. We've posted that for you at WUSA9.com. Zion Kelly is from right here in D.C. He was one of the students who says gun violence ripped his life in half. He's a senior at Thurgood Marshall Academy in Southeast D.C. He fought back tears talking about his twin brother Zaire, who was killed during attempted robbery in Northeast Washington last September.
He shot my brother in the head. We'll be a... Once we arrived to the hospital, he was pronounced dead. This year alone, in January, there were 6 students killed under the age of 19 by guns here in Washington, D.C. In my brother's name, my family is proposing the Zaire Kelly Public Safety Zone Amendments Act of 2018.
And if passed, that legislation would create what's called safer pathways for students to get home from school. Also attending today's march, dozens of students from Great Mills High School in St. Mary's County. They came to honor the memory of one of their own. 16-year-old Jaylyn Willie died Tuesday after being shot at school by a teen she once dated. At the march, many of her classmates say they have no plans to end their fight for gun control.
Her life was taken, and I mean, she wasn't even a senior yet.
She was very energetic, I'll say that. It just hit home, that's home. It gives us hope that there's going to be a change no matter what.
It makes it look like everyone has her back to get justice for her.
Students also showed support for 14-year-old Desmond Barnes. He was also shot that day at the high school. He's since been released from the hospital. And the March for Our Lives movement started after the tragic shooting at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School on Valentine's Day. 17 people lost their lives. Some survivors talked to our Mark Valerio about how the movement will continue once they leave the district.
For me, I was thinking about my 4 friends that passed. I was thinking about the things we talked about, just the everyday jokes that we had, and the conversations about our future that will never be fulfilled.
Today we marched for our lives, tomorrow we're fighting for our lives, and the world's gonna hear about it. It's gonna be a way for everybody to get involved in any little way that they can think of.
We're going to have town halls in every congressional district, and we need youth to become their own leaders and organize that like they have already just for separate marches around the country. So town halls in every congressional district where they invite their congressman to show up, and if they don't, invite their opponent.
When I was on the stage and I looked out and it was at the end of the program, words can't describe what I was feeling. It's like a movie. Like I've seen in my civics textbooks pictures of just marches at Washington, and now that we're here, it's just unbelievable for me.
You'll be in the history books, all 3 of you. Has that hit you yet?
Yeah, and I don't think what's hit these politicians is they will be too, and they're going to be on the wrong side of history.
We're not lucky. We are the most unlucky people here. Our friends aren't here to support us. And honestly, that takes priority over everything. But the ability to make change, I'm happy and I'm proud. I'm not lucky, but I'm absolutely proud of what came from the tragedy. That my friends and everybody here, that they're making a difference, that we are making sure that nothing ever happens again.
Some say this one was one of the largest student-led protests since the Vietnam era. Their permit called for 500,000 people. So did we see that? Our Stephanie Ramirez is live in the Satellite Center with the answer. Stephanie.
Well, Deborah, there is a long-standing policy in the D.C. area where the National Park Service and D.C. Police Departments, they do not give crowd estimates, but we have some powerful photos and videos that show this was a historic day.
Check out this photo from the Digital Globe's Worldview 2 satellite. Organizers with the March for Our Lives estimate around 800,000 people attended the D.C. rally. They and Metro are the only 2 giving out estimates. Numbers aside, there's no doubt those who came were moved.
Obviously, a lot of the stories were really heartbreaking, but it was good, and it was really heartening to see so many young people there.
Not just teens, but kids too.
Super hard. I think it's one of those things that you don't want to talk about. Guns shouldn't be a topic of discussion. It should more so be about playing and enjoying and learning and just being a kid.
This Prince George's County family started to make their way back home at around the same time Metro tweeted. By 4 p.m., they say ridership was at around 334,000. That's about 2.5 times the normal Saturday crowd. The Women's March was reportedly their second busiest day in history.
Earlier today, during that moment of silence, you could hear a pin drop with thousands here. Now, the sounds of the massive cleanup effort.
DC's Department of Emergency Management expects most of the area by the stage on Constitution Avenue to reopen by 10 o'clock Sunday night.
Now, you saw what happened in D.C. Deborah, I know you're going to get into this in just a minute, but I can tell you right now, our media partners believe over 1 million people across the country marched in protests today.
Thank you so much, Stephanie. We have more of that, as she said, just a little bit later on. But for you right now, if you're a D.C. driver, make sure you check those signs when parking around the mall because some of the rally's parking bans remain in effect until tomorrow. Now, today's march in Washington, it was met by sister marches all over the country and the world, from New York to Chicago to Los Angeles and major cities in between, including Orlando, the scene of the Pulse nightclub shooting in 2016.
Las Vegas, 58, say 58. 58. Pulse nightclub, 49, say 49. 49. Virginia Tech, 32, say 32. 32. Sandy Hook, 27, say 27. 27. Sutherland Springs, 25, say 25. 25. Mother Emanuel in Charleston, South Carolina, 9, say 9. 9. Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, 17, say 17. 17. These are the tragic numbers of innocent people who have lost their lives when those who could have done something did nothing.
Well, coming up, see what it took to get two people who weren't seeing eye to eye on this issue of gun control to shake hands. And before we go to break, let's take a look at the march captured through the lens of our chief photographer, Eric Lee. Overall, the March for Our Lives was a peaceful demonstration, but some heated arguments erupted, including a few that needed to be broken up by police. Special Assignment Unit reporter Andrea McCarran witnessed one that ended in a surprising way.
Fight, huh? I dare you. I'm not gonna do anything. I have jail quicker than. If I'm one person standing for what I believe in against 1,000, I'm still gonna stand for what I believe in. You're hypocrite. Switch! I dare you! Dare you! Switch! Civilians don't have the same guns the government has.
No, but they have access to guns. They're able to mow people down.
No, I have a 15-year-old daughter that's in high school. And if anything, I will do any and everything in my power to protect my daughter.
I don't feel safe in schools just because of how easy it is to access a gun.
That's my baby. That's my baby. Always will be. And I will give my life to protect her.
It began as a heated discussion between two men, one in favor of gun control.
When I see the kids running out of school on TV, you know, scared to death, running for their life, I think about my daughter.
The other vehemently opposed.
Any threat against the Constitution is a domestic threat against the Constitution, so I'll always stand to protect that.
But then the two combatants discovered they had something in common. Both are veterans. Both served our country in the Army.
I don't agree with you.
That's the nice thing about our country. We don't got to agree, but we respect each other.
The argument may be over.
I don't really think there's like words to describe the love that you have for a parent.
But a father's worry over the safety of his daughter remains.
Regardless of what kind of threat it is, regardless, it doesn't matter. That's my baby. That's my baby.
In downtown Washington, Andrea McCarran, WUSA9.
And Howard Bernstein joining me now. You know, we talk about this a lot. We have to just respect each other's opinions.
Civility.
We don't have to. Yeah, exactly. We don't have to listen and agree. We just have to be respectful.
Well, I don't want to live in a world where everybody agrees with me. I want to be challenged. I want to be, you know.
Well, you're disagreeable.
Well, that's
sometimes.
another story.
But that's another story. If you tune in, you know we always go back
in a lovable way.
In a totally lovable way. Have you been fighting with the 3-degree guarantee?
Not today.
Not today.
That's been very agreeable. Let's show you what we did. We were forecasting a high today of 51 degrees. We had sunshine.
I like that.
It was chilly for this time of year, but we made 52, so
awesome.
just a degree off. Now tomorrow, I'm only going 47 for that 3-degree guarantee, so it does look colder and breezier as well. It really wasn't that windy. Tonight, tracking snow, some heavy snow. This thing came out of the Midwest here, moving southeast, so it missed us, gave us some high clouds. Then we're able to see the moon, space shuttle passing overnight or earlier tonight. It'll happen again tomorrow at about 8 p.m. Look at this in southwestern Virginia. There are areas around Wytheville, which is just here on the other side of 77 and 81. 13 inches of snow, and this has now moved into North Carolina, so some very rough traveling there. But you know what? As we get into tomorrow, this stuff will melt quickly. It's that time of year with a high sun angle, but it's still going to be chilly. Temperatures start in the 20s and 30s. We had 47, 51 Monday, but look, I'll get out of the way. You may like this a little bit better. 60-ish on Wednesday. That'd be the first time all month we get to 60. Yes, it's been that sort of crazy cool month. And Thursday, I think we're in the 60s, finally above average. Now tonight, temps range from the low 30s in York. It's 40 in Hagerstown, 33 in Culpeper. Well, we're still hanging on to 44 in D.C. with light winds, although I think the winds by morning will be brisk out of the north, northeast, 10 to 15 gusts into 20. So enjoy it while we've got it, and some dry air with that humidity only at 49%. So sun and clouds mixed. And you know, in the afternoon tomorrow, I wouldn't be surprised if we had a stray passing rain or snow shower with temps only in the mid to the upper 40s. So it'll have a colder feel, a heavier jacket required tomorrow. Lots of stuff going on across the country. This storm in the northwest with rain and snow, but what I'm seeing, it's in the southwest. See, these clouds are moving southwest to northeast. This is bringing some milder air into the country, and it's going to push the colder air out of here for the second half of the week. But as you saw, we had this rain and snow mess off to our southwest. They've had some snow and sleet just north of Raleigh tonight. That'll be moving quickly out of here on Sunday, so we're going to be in a northeasterly wind, and there are those isolated rain, and I think it'll be cold enough for even a few snow showers mixed in. Isolated, shouldn't be too widespread. Tomorrow night, quiet into Monday. Monday looks sunny and still chilly, low 50s. And then as we get into Tuesday, we're going to get a warm front approaching. Might just touch off a shower north and west, but really clouds are going to increase on Tuesday, and then temperatures are inching up, and rain chances will be inching up as well as we head to the second half of the week. Tonight, 20s to low 30s, partly to mostly cloudy, breezy late, light winds now, but they'll be picking up toward morning. And then a breezy start, 20s and 30s, some wind chills maybe in the teens tomorrow morning. And then a brisk day, 43 to 48 with that stray shower in the afternoon. We're looking at 51 on Monday, 54 on Tuesday with more clouds. By the middle of the week, perhaps 60 with a stray shower Wednesday and a few showers Thursday and Friday, and a brisk Saturday. Temps back in the 50s.
All right. Well, hey, 50s. Not exactly what we want, but we'll take it. It's better than 30s.
I know
20s.
that's right. Would have been nice today. All eyes have been on the March for Our Lives.
Yes.
And coming up in sports, we're going to have a sports take on that. So stay with us. We'll have that on the other side.
Now, WUSA9 Sports with Diane Roberts, brought to you by Xfinity.
We already know your brackets are stone cold busted, but all the Cinderellas at the ball, man, they must have had your head spinning. Earlier tonight, all eyes were on Sister Jean's team, Loyola of Chicago. They beat Kansas State 78-62 for a trip to the Final Four. The Nun has triggered all sorts of Sister Jean memes and memorabilia. Look at that. Like Air Jordans, Air Sister Jeans, and then there are some actual shoes there. She's truly the belle of the ball. Also headed to the Final Four, the 3-seed Michigan, they beat 9th-seeded Florida State 58-54. This particular segment of the Sportscast is brought to you by the number 3. What you're seeing right now are 3 Capitals goals all in the first period. Boom! First one by Evgeny Kuznetsov in his first game back from injury, mind you. 3 minutes later, Tom Wilson got in on the action, and he dropped the hammer again about 4 minutes later. They tacked on 3 more for the 6-4 win. The sports world took note of the March for Our Lives protest against gun violence. The NBA's LeBron James tweeting support, the Cubs' Anthony Rizzo, who's from Parkland, Florida, posting about his family who went, and then there's Bill Russell, an NBA great who marched on Washington in 1963 with Dr. Martin Luther King. There are younger athlete activists out there, like middle school multi-sport athlete Taylor Odom, whose participation in today's march is personal.
My name is Taylor Odom. I'm 13 years old. Some of the sports that I play are basketball, track and field, rugby, swimming, and sometimes lacrosse, and in the summer, tennis.
What do you like about sports so much?
I can escape from the world that we live in because it's kind of crazy nowadays. I'm going to the march because I want to see things change in our world today because it seems like for a young child to say something nowadays, people won't listen to you.
You're an athlete. Do you feel like you should just shut up and take part in athletics?
People think all we think about is sports. We don't, because we have emotions too, like other people, and we have a voice. I've actually lost someone due to a gun incident. Her name is Jamari. She was driving home and she got shot in the head.
The issue of gun control is very personal to you because of your friend. Is that one of the reasons that you'll be marching?
That is one of the reasons I will be marching on Saturday.
My name is Sandy Williams Odom, and I'm Taylor's mom. I'm so amazed by the work that her and her friends are doing. And just to be a part of it, just to see her and her friends take action is simply amazing to me. Ever since Jamari died, Taylor and her sister just got so involved with the movement and just spearheading with their friends and just really wanted to give back just for Jamari.
What do you think she would say to you about marching?
I think something she would say to me is that she would be proud of me because I'm standing up for what I believe in and not just someone else's dream.
I talked with Taylor tonight, who said she saw someone carrying a poster of her friend, Jamari Sidnor, which made her cry, and she said she cried a lot more than she expected. She thought the event was amazing, and she loved seeing all different people coming together. So she's a really good kid, and she's really, you know, taking it on, being involved in her community.
And then she sees a friend, someone carrying, I can't even imagine how
I know.
poignant that must have been.
Right.
There were so many amazing stories out there today, and as we head to break now, we're going to have more from today's March for Our Lives rally, but we want you to take a look at the Baltimore Children's Choir performing Rise Up, R&B singer Andrea Day.
You know, we didn't have the winds today, so it felt pretty good. Tomorrow, though, it's going to be breezy, gusting over 20. Got a small crowd advisor if you plan on going on the bay, and temps in the 40s. Now, Monday gets a little better, still cold at 51. Middle of the week, second half of the week, then we could potentially break that 60-degree mark, but we'll have a few showers also for that second half of the week. So, yeah.
I need the spring for my garden. I need to get back in my garden, please.
Yeah, there are people who are just like depressed that we haven't had some warm spring days yet, but just
waiting for the cherry blossoms. There's just a lot of waiting happening.
It's going to happen in April. Patience.
Okay.
Yes.
Eventually it will be
Patience,
rewarded.
everyone.
I will wait, Howard.
Yes.
Yes, okay, well, hey, while you're waiting, guess what? You can get updates anytime by checking our WUSA9 app. Yeah, tune in tomorrow morning for WUSA9 News at 7. We really appreciate you hanging out with us tonight. We're so happy to have Diane with us on a Saturday night. And have a great night.
Bye-bye.
You've been watching WUSA9 News with a weather forecast rated most accurate in the D.C. area for the last 6 years.